Why 5,000 mile oil changes beat 10,000 miles? Most new cars say you can go 10,000 miles between oil changes. And that sounds great, right? Less maintenance, save money, less hassle. But as a mechanic, I can tell you this, going 10,000 miles can cost you thousands in engine repairs down the road. Today I'm breaking down the real reason why 5,000 mile oil changes are the cheapest way to protect your engine long term. What oil really does. Oil doesn't just lubricate, it also cools, cleans, and protects your engine. When you're driving, heat, friction, and fuel dilution break the oil down fast, especially with modern engines that run hotter and tighter tolerances. By the time you hit 5,000 miles, that oil has sheared down, it's thinner, and it's not protecting metal surfaces the way they should. And once that film breaks down, you start getting metal on metal wear, and that's where the expensive problems start. Direct injection problems. Most modern engines today use direct injection. That means fuel sprays straight into the cylinder instead of the intake ports. Sounds efficient, right? Well, here's the problem. Fuel used to wash the back of the intake valves, now it doesn't. So what happens? Oil vapors from the PCV system stick to the valves, turns into carbon and buildup. Old dirty oil makes that buildup worse. That leads to rough idle, misfire, and loss of power and bad fuel economy. And cleaning those valves nowadays could cost you $400 to $1,200 depending on your engine application. Most modern day vehicles now have a turbocharger. If your car has a turbo, this is a huge part. A turbo spins at 200,000 RPM and it gets extremely hot. If your oil is old, it literally cooks inside the turbo housing. That creates sludge and blocks the tiny passages that cool and lubricate that turbo. And once that happens, boom, turbo failure. A new turbo can cost you $2,500 to $5,000, sometimes even more. You could just change your oil every 5,000 miles for $50 to $80. Pretty easy choice, correct? Why are manufacturers saying 10,000 mile oil changes? Now here's something most people don't know. Manufacturers push long oil changes intervals mainly for marketing. It makes a car look cheaper to maintain. It helps them hit EPA numbers and most buyer lease, so the manufacturer doesn't care what happens after 30,000 miles. They're not thinking about you keeping the car long term. But as a mechanic, we see the engines that come in after years of 10,000 miles oil changes. They're full of sludge, timing chains that are stretched, and they look nasty inside. As a mechanic that's working on these cars currently, every time I open up an engine that's been serviced at 10,000 miles, it always looks worse than inside. More varnish, more sludge, more wear. I've seen this. Toyota engines with timing chain stretch. BMW turbos full of sludge. Carbon buildup at those intake valves. And guess what all these cars have in common? Long oil changes intervals. So yeah, technically you can go 10,000 miles between oil changes. But if you want your engine to last, avoid expensive repairs, and keep that performance, 5,000 miles is a sweet spot. It's cheap insurance for every expensive part of your car. Let me know in the comments how often you change your oil changes. 3,000, 5,000, or do you stretch it to 10,000 miles? If you found this helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more real world mechanic advice, and I'll see you in the next one. Wrenching Mafia out.